Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Pay homage to the Blessed One. So dear friend, today we are going to start the online retreat. Actually, we'll do the 30 minutes talk, 30 minutes practice, and 30 minutes Q&A. So, okay, another one come. So, within 30 minutes, actually, most of you advanced meditators. I think only the Vincent is the he also have some idea about the loving kindness meditations. But anyway, so before giving the Dhamma talk, I would like to discuss with you because I want to make clear whether you understand or not all the jhana factors about the jhanas. So when I will ask the question, so you have to answer. If you say I know, you will answer that. If you say I don't know, so I'm going to answer that. Okay? So you have already basic knowledge about the loving kindness. So first of all, you radiate loving kindness to yourself 10 minutes and the rest of time for your spiritual friend. But when you were advanced meditator, I mean when you are in the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, then your feeling it go to the top of your head. So then you do the sixth direction meditation. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then we change actually the meditation. So, but before, even though you are, some of them, you are advanced meditator, but I still want to say that, are you clear about the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and how do you understand that? For example, you attend the first jhana, and how do you understand that? You attend the second jhana. How do you understand that? You attend the third jhana. How do you understand that? And you attend the fourth jhana. So I want you to be clear, to know yourself, because there are some characteristics to understand first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Right? You don't need to write, okay, I'll go to Bhante and then Bhante will tell me I attend now first jhana. Not like that. You have to understand yourself, because in the sutta already explained very clearly. So maybe coming Friday I will explain the one sutta, then it will be more clear to you. But today just the first class, the first retreat. That's why I'm going to ask from you. So if you first, I'm going to ask Jim. Could you answer? Could you answer, please? What is the characteristic of the first jhana? How do you understand, Bhante, now I attain first jhana?
Well, first jhana. I know it, but it's hard for me to put it into words. I am aware of my mind talking. There's talking going on in the background. There's piti and sukha, I believe. I feel joy and pleasure or happiness, but I'm still aware of things that are going on outside. My mind is still talking, where when I go to the second jhana, the mind is not talking anymore. There are no words being said.
Now, I'm going to ask only first jhana. You are not going to answer the second jhana. The first jhana, you just tell me the first jhana. What is the characteristic of first jhana? That's it. I mean, when you attain the first jhana, what will be present and what will be the absent in your mind?
Well, what will be present would be a feeling of happiness,
Okay.
a feeling of joy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a peaceful feeling.
Right.
I know that I'm missing something, but I can't
But
remember.
anyway, okay. So don't worry. I will answer that. Okay. We are just learning from each other. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So next, Andrew, could you unmute and then please, what is the characteristic of the first jhana? Andrew?
Of the first.
Yes, first jhana. How do you understand you attain the first jhana? Because now, at the beginning, you are practicing the loving kindness meditation. You radiate loving kindness to yourself at 10 minutes. So we started loving kindness. You already know that. When we practice the loving kindness meditations, we just sit comfortably and then remember a time when you are happy. When that happy feeling arises in the center of your chest, you feel warm and glowing feeling, and when you feel the warm and glowing feeling arise the center of your chest, and you make wish, right? May I be happy, may I be calm, may I be peaceful, may I be full of joy, and so on. May I be content, wherever, and whatever you want to make wish, you can you wish that, right? And then after 10 minutes, you switch a spiritual friend and you radiate loving kindness to your spiritual friend. The way you radiate loving kindness to yourself, and then you radiate loving kindness to your spiritual friend. Am I right?
Right.
Then you attain the first jhana. Maybe it will, some people can attain very quickly, and some people it takes 2 days, 3 days, you know. So my question is here, so when you attain the first jhana, and how will you understand? Like when we went to, because we have no idea at that time, we practice meditation under the teacher, under like Bhante Vimalanamsi. When we went to him, and then he asked, we went to him for an interview, so he asked, how about your meditation? Right? And the next day, how about your meditation? How do you practice that? Right? And so, when you attain the first jhana, he never said. Second jhana, he never said that. Third jhana, he never said that. When you attain the first jhana, then he said, now you are the fourth jhana. Does it make sense? So, my question is here, so when you attain the first jhana, so you have to know yourself, because in the sutta already mentioned very clearly. So I want you to understand yourself. No need to wait for me, oh, Bhante is going to answer, now I attain my first jhana. But if you don't understand the characteristic of the first jhana, that means you don't have confidence, you know. Because in the sutta it's very, very clearly mentioned that. Is it clear? So, if you can answer, just if you know, you can tell me. But if you cannot, it's okay, no problem. But I will explain it one by one, you know. So whatever you know, just tell me.
Well, I don't know if I could add anything more to what Jim said.
Okay, it's okay, no problem. Ethan?
Yes.
Yeah, could you answer what is the characteristic of the first jhana when you practice loving kindness meditations, and how do you understand that you are in the first jhana?
The overwhelming joy.
I'm sorry?
The overwhelming joy. Thoughts have a lot of thoughts and distractions. The hindrances seem to have dropped away for a moment.
Okay.
And you have a sort of combination of metta and also compassion and also everything together.
Okay. So, okay, I'm going to ask the next. Vincent, could you share some knowledge? What is the characteristic of the first jhana? Do you know, here actually we come here on the Zoom to learn from each other, right? But you don't think that, oh, now I don't know, I feel shy. Don't think that way, because we are learning from each other, right? This is the meditations. So Vincent, could you share some knowledge, if you know about the characteristic of the first jhana? How do you understand that when you practice loving kindness meditation? Please unmute.
Did that work?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not really sure. It's been such a long time.
But it's okay. Whatever you can, whatever you know, just to share to us.
Is it possible, like, when you first enter jhana, does it always have to be the first jhana, or do you skip ever?
No. These meditations is go gradually, step by step.
Right.
You enter the first jhana first, second jhana, and third jhana, and fourth jhana. And then base of infinite space, the base of consciousness, the base of infinite consciousness, the base of nothingness, and the base of neither perception nor non-perception.
Okay.
So
I remember on my first retreat when I experienced jhana, all the internal talking chatter was gone. So, but that was only my first retreat, and then all my other retreats afterwards, I still have the talking, I still have internal verbalization. But like the other guys said, you're just uplifted. That's all I really noticed. You kind of just feel uplifted.
Okay. So it's okay, no problem. So Christ, could you explain, please?
Characteristic is you lose your ego, and so you lose your self-identity, and then the feeling you feel is joy, abundance of joy.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to answer actually today. I'm going to talk three things. One is the characteristic of the jhana, and second is the 5 hindrances, and third is the, all of you know the 6 R's. Our Bhante Vimalanamsa always use the 6 R's. So harmony aspect is called right effort, right? So you know already what are the harmony aspect is right effort, 6 R's. And the second thing is in the 5 hindrances. So 5 hindrances, you already know: sensual desire, aversion, sleepiness and dullness, and restlessness and anxiety, and last one is doubt. So you already know about that. You no need to explain all those things too clearly. But jhanas I am going to explain in detail today. So here one thing we have to understand before explaining jhana, when the 5 hindrances. So what are the 5 hindrances? Sensual desire, number 1. Number 2, aversion. Number 3, sleepiness and dullness. And number 4, restlessness and anxiety. And last one is doubt. So when you practice meditation, among the 5 hindrances, any one may arise in your mind. Then you have to use the 6 R's. You have to use the harmonious practice. You recognize it, release it, relax tension and tightness in your head, in the whole body, just relax it. And then bring up the wholesome thought in your mind. Bring up the wholesome thought by smiling. By smiling. Keep smiling is the most important here, because the more you smile, more wholesome thought will arise in your mind, and your mind will be so light, you'll feel that. And then return to the object of meditations, and then continuously again practice loving kindness meditations, or just keep the wholesome thought as long as you can. So, like for example, sensual desire arise, use the 6 R's, use the harmonious practice. And aversion arise, use the harmonious practice. And then sleepiness and dullness arise, use the harmonious practice. And restlessness and anxiety arise, use the harmonious practice. And last one is doubt arise, use the harmonious practice. So what about the doubt? Doubt means like what the Buddha said, what the Buddha taught about meditation. Maybe it doesn't work. The doubt arises in your mind, so use the harmonious practice. And then what Bhante Satyananda is talking about, maybe this is not true. So doubt arises, use the harmonious practice. Right? So this is about doubt. The 5 hindrances. Anyone, when it arises in your mind, so you have to use the harmonious practice. So that way, all the hindrances will be weaker, 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 weaker. And eventually, when you attain Arahant, highest peace, then all the hindrances will be gone. So until you attain Arahantship, the hindrances must arise in your mind. Must arise in your mind. So you have to use the harmonious practice. So that's why I always say one hand, 5 hindrances, another hand, 6 R's, right? Another hand, harmonious practice. So when anyone arises, then use the harmonious practice. So that way it's very easy to handle it, you know. Okay, so now you got it. What are the harmonious practice and what is the 5 hindrances, right? Now, characteristic of the first jhana. When you practice loving kindness, you radiate loving kindness to yourself and to your spiritual friend, and you attain the first jhana. How do you understand that? You attain the first jhana. You have to remember there are 5 kinds of characteristics to know, to identify the first jhana. How do you? Number 1, thinking and examining thought. Thinking thought, number 1. Examining thought, number 2. Joy, happiness, and unification of mind. Altogether how many? 5. Right? Thinking thought, examining thought, and joy, happiness, and unification of mind. So you'll see it will arise very, very, very fast, very quickly. You know, thinking thought arise, and then you'll see examining thought arise. Then joy arise, then happiness arise, and unification of mind. That moment you will understand yourself, you attain first jhana. Here one thing, at that time, hindrances, 5 hindrances will be entirely absent. So if 5 hindrances rise, then you are dropped from the jhana. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I at the beginning I would like to say that you have to understand what are the 5 hindrances. You have to know that very clearly. You have to keep in your mind. Don't forget it. If you forget, that means you mix up everything, you know. So keep the five hindrances in your mind all the time. If possible, just memorize it and then put in your mind. Okay. So five hindrances absent, but thinking and examining thought, joy, happiness, and unification of these five factors will be present in your mind. Then you attain the first jhana. Is it clear? Question about the first jhana? Any question? If you have any question, just let me know. Because before going to the second jhana, characteristic of the second jhana, I want to make sure whether you understand or not, it's become clear or not to you. You know.
What you mean by unification of mind?
Unification of mind means your mind like this, and it's into one point.
I got it.
Your mind is to the one point, and it's never at that time. It doesn't go to the different direction. It's into unification of mind. Your mind into the one. Any question about the first jhana?
Do you mean that the first, unification of mind, is that like you're concentrating hard on your breath or something? That you got
No.
one point?
Actually, here.
Never feel that.
Actually, I don't use the concentration. This is not the concentration. Your mind at that time will be collected.
Okay, collected.
Into the one point, your mind will be collected. Collected. So into the one point. Okay?
So it's collected to the point of joy.
Right.
For
Yeah.
I have a question. Does unification of mind also mean? Could it mean that like you're not distracted?
Yes. Yes. You are right. Yes. You are not distracted. Your mind is the one point. It's a collected mind.
Right.
Yeah. It's a collected mind.
Yeah.
Any question about the first jhana?
I think I had a peculiar experience when I went to first jhana.
Okay, please share. We want to learn. We want to hear from you. We want to learn from you.
I didn't have the knowledge of the jhana, but I was doing metta, and it was all of a sudden I was happier than I had ever been at any time in my life,
Okay.
including a marriage day, anything like that. It was overwhelming joy. But with it, what I realized that when I had my wishes for myself, that I should be healthy, safe, healthy, happy, and peaceful, that I realized that I already was all those things in that exact moment. And I felt like I could see the moment click by. And that whatever I might be in the future, right now I was in that state.
Okay. Good.
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
anybody else experiences that or.
Yeah. So, but one thing you have to be very clear to understand better. As I told you, thinking and examining thought, it will rise in your mind. You have to understand that. Joy will rise, happiness will rise, and then unification of mind. So when these five things will rise in your mind, then you will understand, completely you will understand that you attend the first jhana. Okay? So
You might be right.
I'm sorry?
I said, I think I've had joy rise before without going into the other things. And
Right. Here one thing, I think if you don't have questions, I have questions for you. What is the difference between joy and happiness? Can anybody answer?
Yes.
I think